My Warlock is insane, because with Warlock you get a thing called, what the hell is it? Soul Drain? Is it Soul Drain? No, it's not Soul Drain. It's called something else. But pretty much what you do is you basically beam yourself a laser from your hand to their body, and you damage them for a lot, and you heal yourself at the same time. So it pretty much plays like an Affliction Warlock on World of Warcraft. It just destroys. But yeah, Mage Tank you can do. Mages, in my opinion, are the hardest to kill. Or Cleric Tanks. Cleric Tanks are really hard to kill because they heal themselves and everybody around them for the damage they do. Now, Rift PvP is super fun because, let's say, like, World of Warcraft, you have, you know, Alterac Valley, that big snow place. It's always, when you go to that warfront, it's always the same warfront. There's nothing ever different about it, ever. In this game, they have different PvP events during the weekend that, you know, you can queue for, let's say, the regular Alterac Valley, or you can queue for the special event PvP match for the weekend, which is a different version of that map. There's different things to do in that map. So, oh, excuse me. There's a lot more variables. Say, like, if you're in Whitefall Steps in this game, Whitefall Steps PvP match, normally what it is, it's a capture the flag, but what it is, it's a soulstone type thing. And it's pretty much capture the flag, and you can't capture it unless you kill the. It's pretty much it plays like Warsong Gulch, is what it plays like. But the Whitefall Steps escalation special map is completely different. You pretty much fight for one stone in the middle of the map. So pretty much, you have one version of the map that, you know, tends to the people that like the capture the flag type style, but then you have another version of the same map that more or less correlates with the people that like the, you know, fight in the middle. So no matter what type of play style you like, you'll have a PvP match of the same map of that style. Alright, I need a goddamn horse. There's 8 tiers of PvP gear. There is a PvP currency cap, and you can't get the next tier of PvP gear until you have that whole first tier, or an X amount of pieces of that first tier. So you pretty much build yourself up. Open world PvP is awesome because anytime you see a rift in a zone, other than the first the first 2 zones of each faction, is pretty much there's no quest. There's only quests for your faction in that zone, but everything after that, so pretty much from like level 30 and on, all the zones after that, which is like 8 of them, is all open world. You share the same, pretty much the same quest hubs as everybody else, as the other faction. So you're constantly getting in like PvP wars. If you like open world PvP, the end game PvP is fucking awesome because, like I mentioned, when you're doing a zone event, and let's see, I didn't have a question about that sort of pro. Lions vs. Horde Center. Oh no, the next expansion they're actually changing that. They're gonna have full zone PvP matches, so an entire zone will be a PvP match where you have to control points or whatever, kind of like Alterac Valley. But there's gonna be 3 different factions, 3 different PvP factions. So it doesn't matter if you're Horde or Alliance, you pick your PvP faction you want to be in. And yeah, also like say if you know, like in World of Warcraft, Warsong Gulch, where say if you're Horde and you keep queuing, you just keep coming up against this team that's Alliance, and they just keep wiping wiping the floor with you. In this game, you can actually play as a mercenary. When you play as queue as a mercenary, or choose to be a mercenary, it'll either put you on your faction's team or the other faction's team. So say if you get stuck with one really bad group in a PvP match and you're sick of playing with them, you can queue as a mercenary and play on the other faction's team. I mean, it gives you that option to do it. What is the deal with two main factions when you make it to? It seems like Horde versus Alliance to me. It is, but in my opinion, there's more story behind these two factions. The Defiant and Guardian. Defiant are like, say, the technologically advanced scientific type of people, versus the Guardians are like the religious holy people that shun on technology. And basically what happened is, because I played through the game, multiple times on each faction, the gist of the story is that, what's more story? I thought Warcraft... thought the 3 Warcrafts was enough background. Well, in my opinion, I mean, there really isn't a good, solid story there. I mean, because if you follow game to game, they actually, forget, things in each of the stories. It's like, well, this guy didn't die in this story. Why isn't he in this game? And why is he dead now? Why did he die? Type of a thing. There's a lot of gaps in their story versus this one. This game has, a solid story. I think it was in Burning Crusade, there was this one guy that, didn't die, but in Lich King, he was all of a sudden dead and no one knew what the hell that was about, type of a thing. Like, I don't know if you ever seen that red shirt guy thing for BlizzCon. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. The own creators of the game leave gaps in the story and forget about things, versus this has, a solid storyline to it. And it's a pretty badass story, too. Because not only do you have the regular questing to do in this game, there's also a thing called the epic quest lines. As you go through the game and level up, you can do, like, say, the epic life quest, the epic death story quest, which is a whole completely different questing set than what's in the game for, like, quest hubs. It's where you're getting a deeper background into the story of everybody in the game. It's about all I can explain it as. It's really hard to explain what that is specifically unless you actually, like, do the epic storyline. So I could probably sum it up in the fact that, let's say, in World of Warcraft terms, let's say you got your regular questing through all the zones, but let's say you have a separate quest line that you can do as you're leveling up that deals along, say if we're playing Lich King, that deals along the lines of how did Arthas come into power, who was he, where was he from, what did he do growing up, how did he become corrupt, and how did he get to be the person he is, type of a thing. And during those quest lines, you fight these epic bosses that you sometimes need a whole party of people to beat. It gives more in-depth into the main characters of the game. And why, like in Rift, why the planes are invading, why certain plane bosses, like a life boss or death boss or fire boss, why they're here, where they came from, type of a thing. Ah. Oh, the story's better. So why are you in front of a rift or something right now? What is that? This is a rift. This is a death rift. That is actually Regulus. He's like the king of all, like, rifts. He's like the main boss that you have to kill that hasn't been released yet. Yeah, whenever you go into a rift, like this is a death rift, if you look at all the clouds, it changes the whole environment around you into the theme of that rift that you're in. And each rift has different phases. If you look right up here, if you can see where my mouse is, see it's on phase 2 of this rift, and it tells you what you have to do for that phase. So right now I got to kill these guys. Elder Scrolls 4. Skyrim. Graphics wise and everything else, it does feel like Skyrim. This game really does. Except for it has the MMO, you know, Elder Scrolls 4. Oh yeah, it was Oblivion, because there was Daggerfall, there was Morrowind, Oblivion. There was one before that, I think, wasn't there? Yeah, and same thing with rifts too. Like in World of Warcraft, say you have stuff going on, and people will just leech certain things or whatever. Like leech quests, or like AFK and leech stuff. Here, you get like Planarite, like the rift, currency. You get an X amount of that based on your participation in there. So if you just go into a rift and sit there, you won't get jack shit for it because you didn't help beat it. And also in this game, you get... Oh, I gotta kill this guy. Take him down. Oh, and here too, you also got on-the-fly raiding. Or like groups, like grouping. Shit. So let's say you come up... Say if you see a rift, you know, across the land a little bit, and you want to go fight that rift. When you run up to that rift... What you do, a little button will appear at the top of your screen right here that says join local party, and you'll join in a party with up to 20 other people that are in that area fighting that rift. So you can benefit from their buffs and stuff like that. You don't have to ask to join parties, you can just join it. You know, unless, let's say if you and a couple friends... Oh, that is too good. Yeah, it's really fucking nice. It's awesome. You can just, you know, join stuff on the fly, and, you know... What you can do, though, say if you and another person, you're helping someone level up or whatever, you can make your party private so people can't join your party. But when it comes to a public raid like this, the more people in the party, the better, because the stronger stuff gets and the better the loot can be. Yeah, I'll show you when I go into this next zone here. Now that this... first starter zone is done, I'm going to be going into the main world now. I'll show you like the size of it, what it all looks like or whatever. I'll show you my mount I get for being a beta tester for the game. Where's Regulos? God damn it. There he is. Yada yada yada. Alright, this is the first main zone. That's like the Defiant starting area over there. I'm going to go run up to the mailbox and get my mount, and I'm just going to take you a little tour through some of the zones. Hopefully I don't get killed on the way, because shit will chase you down. Like in World of Warcraft, how you can usually like stay on the roads, and you'll usually be safe. Well, on this game, like invasions spawn at random anywhere on the map. Like you can see right here, Gloamwood, that has an event going on, like a raid event, like a zone event. Like this is the whole map. This is the little spot that I'm in right here. Now this is the entire map, and that's Ember Isle. Whoops.